Today's episode is about the power of what we put on our plate. It isn't about restriction or perfection. It's about rewriting your unique food story. We explore how nutrition shapes our energy, mood, inflammation, and healing capacity. It isn't about another meal plan. It's about understanding the root cause of what your body truly needs. Welcome to Rooted and Rising, a podcast by Into the Woods Wellness. I'm Caitlin Keneally, coming to you from our nature-inspired sanctuary in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Grab your tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into real talk that empowers your healing journey. All right, so we are back, and I'm super excited to have Ginger with us today. It is her first podcast ever. Woo!
Yep, another newbie. Yes, well, it's wonderful, though. It's great to have more people jumping on, joining us that have so much great experience to share with our listeners and get more education out there. This is not something we need to keep a secret.
Mm-mm. And it's important, too, that I think they can see our staff in a different way, right?
Yeah.
And that our staff has to lean into the uncomfortable every once in a while. We preach that. But today we're going to be talking about the importance of food in our healing. We're going to talk about our wellness journeys. And we've had a couple exciting weeks here.
Yes.
So we will talk about Woodie, wellness that moves, and the exciting win that we as a staff had.
Yeah.
So
it's a perfect fit for the nutrition spoke of the wellness wheel of Into the Woods. And that's why it just makes sense to have Ginger here as the health mentor.
Thanks for having me. Yes, Caitlin is very good at getting me out of my comfort zone, that's for sure.
we all need a little KK in our lives.
We
That's
do.
right.
Absolutely. I kind of want to start because it's so fresh on our memories before we jump into the this or that warm up. Let's jump into Woodie because I think it's a fun thing to kick off. Obviously, people may have seen the photos, and by the time this goes live, obviously, it'll be a couple weeks.
Okay. So for the past, I don't know, is it 5 or 6 weeks? Can't really remember. I've been a part of the Envision Ignite program. And every Monday and Thursday, we'd have class in the evenings in Waupun. And then we were basically preparing ourselves for the pitch. Okay. I happened to pick number 10, which originally I was upset about because I like to go. I was like, in my head, I wanted to be 1 to 3 so I could just get it over with and sit back and relax. But of course, that didn't happen. But 10 of us pitched that evening, and 2 people were walking away with a prize. The first prize was $30,000 and the second was $20,000, and we took second.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys talk? You were there. I was sweating in places I didn't even know existed all night long, and pretty sure I blacked out, but clearly good enough to take home a prize.
Yeah. It was so cool to see, Caitlin, you come to life, your energy on the stage. It reminded me of, I think, is it the Shark Tank?
Shark Tank, yep.
Okay, yeah, because everybody had great ideas that they were pitching. Maybe I'm being biased, but ours was unique. It's something that Fond du Lac County does not have.
Yeah.
And we all have these busy lifestyles. So to have healthy meals when our schedules are crazy is going to be a huge hit in our area.
Yeah. And that's what Woodie's all about. That's what the pitch was all about. Woodie, Wellness That Moves, is a food truck concept, right?
Yep. A healthy food truck.
Healthy. Yeah. That's the distinguishing factor. Absolutely. So ideally, people do not have to choose convenience versus health, right? And really having the option of clean, wholesome ingredients as part of their outings, whatever that might be. Maybe it is a workplace lunch or a community event. But there's a lot of exciting growth ideas that I know you have wrapped in all of that too.
Yeah. And the other thing I discussed in the pitch was it just doesn't end with Woodie. We have an idea for a full mobile ecosystem, whether that's mental health, IVs. And I didn't know, because you never know if jokes are going to land or not, but I had a vision. I always put humor into my speeches and things like that. I said in the pitch, help us become the healthiest, hottest modern day lunch ladies that this town has ever seen. And it was like the whole place erupted.
Yeah.
So
We sure know. Everybody had their eyes on the Into the Woods group for sure, and then everybody else. was cheering
Yep.
Yeah.
because they loved it. It
Yeah.
was great.
It was
Good energy.
Yeah. And it was
absolutely
special, especially you always want people to come and support you. But I could look out and I could see my whole team, family was there as well.
Mhm.
So that was also like, okay, Caitlin, let's just bring this home.
Yeah.
And when they announced it, I forgot I was into the woods wellness. So like, I was literally, as much as I was in my element, I'm also outside of my element because they did second place first and they said into the woods. And it took me a second, like, I'm into the
That's
woods.
me.
I was like, oh, okay. And then because the judges took a little bit longer, like, I didn't want to give a big speech up there either.
Yeah.
Because I was like, everybody's got lives and it got a little,
It got
but
late,
yeah.
but
but
yeah.
it was totally worth it. Super excited. And this is just the beginning. This helps
Mhm.
us gain momentum. Obviously helps us with a financial down payment, but food trucks are expensive.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be bringing forward. So this is really, this feels like a very good step and it's very encouraging, but it's also the first step because now we have different phases of it to roll out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Very
Yeah.
so fitting. The community, Fond du Lac County needs this, and the world needs this
Absolutely.
education.
And I think it fits perfectly for today's too, because
Yeah.
the core of what Into the Woods has been their nutrition, which is why we have Ginger here today as well.
Yeah. We'll roll into that. Before we dive too much deeper, because we do want to spend a little bit of time having everyone get to know Ginger a little bit too. But before we do that, we're going to do our fun this or that. Again, a chance for us to have a little entertaining banter back and forth, but then also to have the listeners ask themselves these same questions just to check in. So this or that nutrition edition. Do you plan your meals for the week or decide day by day based on what sounds good?
It feels better when I plan them, but sometimes it's probably day by day.
How about you, Ginger?
I'm a planner. I have to have it planned out.
Yeah. I'm a bit of both. Sometimes, like, all right, this week I'm going to make this one meal, and then you can have leftovers for like a day or so, and then I don't know what I want to do. So I do a mix of both. I should probably plan, though.
Yeah,
It
but I
helps.
feel like that's kind of part of the planning. You make that bigger meal for the plan to eat it for lunch the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that all sounds great. Just have to execute it.
That's just it.
Talk to Jason.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Eating the same breakfast every day, or do you like to mix it up?
I do the same thing over and over.
I do the same thing on the days that I work, but I also do the same thing on the days that I don't work. So I do
Okay.
mix it up,
Got it. It just
but
depends on
it
the
just
day.
depends on the day. If I'm working, I'm usually in a little bit more of a hurry.
Yeah,
So
that
I
makes
do a
sense.
little bit of both.
Sure. I have found I go in spurts where I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat this every single day for 2 or 3 months, and then I get bored with it and like,
Yep.
I don't know what I'm going to eat. So now I'm in this point of I don't know what to have for breakfast. And I was on my walk this morning and I was like, oh, I should just eat my leftovers from supper.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Remember, it's just the first meal of the day.
Yeah.
It could be a roast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some
Why not?
veggies, right?
Yeah,
Some-
we're going to dive more into our mindset on food. But yeah, it doesn't have to be so difficult. Okay. Do you use a shopping list when you go to the grocery store, or do you just browse and choose, which is dangerous?
A list. I don't really like going into stores, and I specifically don't like going into grocery stores. So I'm like to go in and get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So if you see me in there, I'm in the zone.
You're on a mission.
Yeah, like go.
I am definitely with a list. Sometimes it's a mental list.
Yep.
Sometimes it's written down, but definitely a list.
Yeah. For me, it varies, which is usually a problem because I'll go in there for 3 things and then I've spent like $150. Like, what happened?
Right?
It's not hard to do these days, but
Yes, that is
okay.
true.
Trying a new recipe or perfecting your favorites?
Perfecting your favorites.
Trying a new recipe.
I'm a mix. I like trying new things, but I like baking new things versus actual meals. Salty or sweet temptations?
Definitely salty.
Definitely sweet.
I would say sweet is mine as well. What's your go-to snack?
Anything fruit. Like I could eat fruit all day long.
I guess it varies. I would say either nuts,
Mm.
fruit, but then sometimes radishes. I know that's
Oh.
really weird.
Do you
It's
just
the
take it and
cold
bite it?
crunch of the radish, yes. And the funny thing is like they're in the drawer in the refrigerator, and I take my foot, I open the drawer, I grab my radishes. I clean them, cut them.
Oh, that's
So
great.
This is something I have never heard of before.
I
I
know
like
it's all
this.
random and weird.
I love it though. Yeah. We each have our own things, right?
Yeah.
I really love beets. I don't,
Mm.
yeah, I know there's many people that have that same reaction, but I love beets. That could be something. And I will occasionally buy them and just add them as a snack as part of my meal, like for lunch or whatever. Yeah. It's not really a snack for me,
Yeah,
but
my
maybe it should
wild
be.
snacks are bananas, grapes. I really, if I can like just grab it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you love your little pouches.
Yeah. It's a smoothie. Yes.
It's
Yeah,
all
in a
fit.
pouch on the
Yeah,
go.
her little pouch smoothie.
It's perfect.
I know.
All right, so we're getting into the holiday season. This is the last warm-up
Mm.
question. What's your favorite menu item or treat for the holidays? Because there's
Listen, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl. So anytime I can have potatoes, meat, gravy, and corn, I'm good.
all right.
Yes, that's what I would go for.
And I do enjoy Thanksgiving dinner, but I gotta go with the peanut butter balls
Ooh.
because honestly, I crave those at the holiday season,
Hmm.
and I try to find a healthier way to make them.
Okay.
It
Fair.
doesn't always work.
It's hard.
It is.
Yeah. But we'll get into more of that. It's not always about perfection.
Exactly.
Just being aware and yeah,
What
absolutely.
about you, girl?
I don't know. A good sugar cookie with the frosting and all of
Yeah.
that. Hard to resist, but
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Let's dive in and get to know Ginger, Into the Woods health mentor. Ginger, tell us a little bit about your path to Into the Woods. You've been with Katie and Kathy, another team member, since the beginning.
Yeah.
So, what was it that drew you to Katie's vision?
I knew Katie at another health and wellness facility and kind of we crossed paths there. Actually mentored her a little bit there.
Nice.
And when she was talking to our entire office about her new endeavor and how she would love for us to find our place with her, it interested me. My kids were getting older. I really enjoyed all the different seeds that have been planted over the years from these mentors that I've had over the last 25 years. So yeah, I was ready to spread my wings.
Awesome.
Like it.
And you have over 25 years of experience in the health and wellness space. Did you always want to do this work? What did you want to be when you were
I
a
wanted to
kid?
be a dental hygienist.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
And I still try to convince my youngest daughter, Sadie, to do that because I feel like job security.
Sure.
But I didn't like that. I did actually start working with a dentist to do that, and it wasn't my jam.
Sure. So what got you into the health and wellness space?
Chiropractic?
Okay.
Yeah. And from there, I just met some really great people that encouraged a different way of thinking,
Sure.
and it blossomed from there.
It made sense to
Yeah,
you.
it did.
Absolutely.
It made sense.
Do you have a pivotal moment in your wellness journey that sticks with you when you're doing this work?
When when I had kids, I had to make some tough decisions. And I think that's where it all started. There's the topic of vaccines and when are you going to start to feed your kids and what are you going to give to your kids? So that was the moment where I was like, you know what? I need to start exploring what these things are doing to our
Mhm.
bodies.
Yeah.
For me too, after giving birth, how do I lose this baby weight?
Sure.
I'm not saying that it was the right reason, but I would be very dialed in on my nutrition, on my exercise, only to lose that weight.
Sure.
And then I would go and revert back to old habits. But again, the seeds were planted. I knew what I needed to do. I just wasn't consistent at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of women go through that
Yeah.
where it's just trying to connect to maybe who they were in this new phase of life and
Right.
maybe not having the education or
Yep.
support system to really know what to do.
And I think even like mental health or any health journey, often it's a personal experience.
Absolutely.
Right? That pulls us into it, good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's awesome.
And I think part of it too is just we each have different things that pop up in our lives where we're questioning how we feel or what we're putting into our body. And that is a very unique journey. And that's a perfect transition into really what we want to dive deeper into this episode, which is nutrition, food as medicine, essentially, right? The foundational aspect of Into the Woods. Ginger, could you share a little bit about the Into the Woods mentality around food and nutrition?
Yeah, it's the foundation to healing. That pretty much sums it up. So I educate our clients how to nourish your body, how to hydrate your body, how to sustain and create some really good habits. But it's the foundation for healing.
Yeah, food and how we fuel our body truly matters. I don't know it as well as you probably do, but the impact in energy obviously makes sense. Impact on hormones. What other systems would you call out that it can truly support or have negative impacts too if it's not really nourishing your body?
Yeah, food, there's so many inflammatory foods these days. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Like even 15 years ago, if my kids were to have Cheez-Its, it's not the same Cheez-It that we have today.
Additives
There's
and
so many
artificial.
additives and artificials and
Yeah.
chemicals. There's so many inflammatory foods where people are feeling tired. They're feeling like they can't sleep. Their digestion is a mess.
Yeah.
And if we can peel back and pull back and almost go back to the hunters and gatherers and
Yeah.
see how food can really make us feel. Yeah, it plays a huge role. And I feel like we have to start there. We have to start with the food.
Yeah.
Because no supplement, no IV, no medication is really going to fix that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes
And I
sense.
think generationally too, you often recreate what we see within our household.
Yeah.
We eat those same things. And so I think, again, it just becomes a habit.
Yep.
So if you grew up eating one way, you're more likely to continue that, right?
Yeah.
Until you know differently. And I think, again, oftentimes, just like with mental health and the nutrition piece, it's not until something really bad is about to happen or we have an experience that wants to shape us into a different way. And so
Yeah.
I think the whole point of what we are trying to do here is prevention,
Yep.
right? And one of those aspects and one of our biggest aspects is nutrition.
Yeah. And what I love about it is we've hinted to it, but I want to call it out, this idea of getting to the root cause. Medicine, again, there's needs for it in certain arenas, but getting to the root cause is such a huge piece, and addressing whether it's inflammation in the body based on what you're eating or other things that are happening around you. But food is just such a critical piece of understanding the triggers. And we'll dive into a little bit more of food sensitivities and all of that as part of what Into the Woods does. But I think that root cause approach and how much nutrition is woven into that, the foundational essence, is really important. Caitlin, you were starting to talk about we do what we know.
Yeah.
And so that is another component of what Into the Woods does, specifically as part of the personalized wellness program.
Yeah.
And that's the education. So yeah, we only know what we know based on the information that's presented to us, what our families and maybe friends have brought into our attention, what we're aware of. So talk a little bit about the education piece.
The education piece is huge. To understand why we need to make these changes is so important. And that is why we focus on that here at Into the Woods. If we can understand why we need to remove these foods, we're more likely to sustain it. And we are here to try to create a sustainable lifestyle.
Yep.
And again, it sets the foundation. You have to start with what you're feeding yourself. And like Caitlin said, the gut and the mind, they're connected.
Yeah.
So if you have an unhealthy gut, you're probably having all these unhealthy thoughts and things aren't processing properly. So we do work together to create that really great lifestyle for
Yeah.
people.
We call it a lifestyle change too. It
Absolutely.
is. It's hard work, but they are connected. And our current system is, or culturally has been, we're separate, right? That this is over here, this is over
Mhm.
here. But when it's all working together, you will have a better outcome and a quicker outcome.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of resistance to it. And I still think that there's a lot of stigma around it. And it is, I don't like to say the word hard, but it's challenging
It's
to
hard.
take those steps. Yeah, maybe we can use that word because you're rewiring everything.
Yeah.
The way you think about food, your relationship with food,
Yeah.
if you have a family, your family's relationship with food. It can be a very big obstacle, but I think what we do really well here is we have the wraparound services.
Yeah.
So we have all of it that help and guide you along that path.
Yeah.
For
Mentor when you have questions. Like
Yes.
there's a core program of content that is part of the wellness program, right?
Yes.
And then that's on top of that, you've got health mentorship with
Absolutely.
Ginger, and of course, other services and support from the team. So
Mhm.
it is really an all-inclusive
Yes. And
approach.
and I think that's where that's what sets us apart is we can all be motivated to make changes, but if you don't have somebody to hold you accountable,
Yeah.
it's so much easier to revert back into old habits. And I will say, as Caitlin was saying too, our food, we are addicted. Like there's stuff in our food that makes us addicted
Yeah.
to these certain processed foods. So we all need support. We need to understand labels. We need to just do a little bit better. And it's hard because we like those foods. We
Yeah.
enjoy all of that easy grab and go
Convenience. Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And it takes a little bit more work and effort.
A little bit of
Just
willpower to say,
willpower.
okay, that cookie
Yes.
was really good and I want a second one or a third one, but no. It
Right.
is really
And that's
speaking from personal
and
experience.
I've been living a really healthy, I feel like, sustainable lifestyle for a really long time. And I know if I make a really healthy batch of whatever, I still have trouble to push it away. I rather eat the whole pan in
Mhm.
24, 48 hours than let it sit there and have
Yeah.
one every day for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's hard.
And as someone, I thought it was very important that I go through the program, obviously, so that I can understand. And for me, it was really taking that moment, that mindful moment, and looking at what's on the back.
Yeah.
That was huge.
Can you read the ingredient?
Yes.
What you're actually putting in your
I
body?
get it. Why did this ingredient list from this product go from 10 years ago, 3 ingredients, to now all of a sudden having 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And I think our win too is validation that it is changing, that people do want
They want
this.
it.
The
Yeah.
research is showing. That's what I presented as well. And so there is a movement, and I just feel like we're ahead of the game.
100%.
But yes, when we reset the gut, we know that we will have better outcomes. And I think, again, culturally, I think people are catching on to that too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just interesting to pause and think about, all right, where and or how were we taught about food? Maybe when we
The
were in
food
school.
pyramid,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Milk.
Yeah.
Remember that campaign that
Yes.
now that all the stuff is coming out about how they got paid to do that milk
Yeah,
campaign?
it totally was an advertising campaign with dollars behind it and maybe with good intent to support different industries, farms. But at the same time, culturally, there is a lot that's put in front of us that is based on maybe not always our greatest well-being.
Like, remember the low fat, no fat?
Oh, yep. Yep.
And then we thought if we went out to eat and had some guacamole that, oh my gosh, we're going to get fat. And yeah, they pulled out all that healthy fat to replace it with sugar and junk. And now we're in a crisis because we all feel
Right.
sick.
Well, and I
Right.
think that we're seeing this too with the increase in gluten
Mhm.
intolerance. All of those things have gone up. And I just think that goes back to the seeds of
Right.
planting it.
Yeah.
And so when people are like, we didn't have this issue. And it's like, yeah, because you weren't eating the exact same things
Food
that
was
we,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, food is very
It's
different.
different.
Why
Yep.
do I have this on my arm that you've never had? Oh, that shows that's my gluten piece that comes out. I'm like, oh yeah. Or my stomach hurts in
Sure.
this way.
And it's been such an increase now. There's toddlers having these sensitivities, and it goes back to what are they spraying on our food?
There's that. Oh,
Right?
goodness.
Because they're
Yep.
trying to mass produce all of this. So you have your
Yep.
glyphosates and you have all of these chemicals that are sprayed. Our body's made up of these bugs, and now this mass producing these sprays are meant to kill these bugs on these crops, and now
We're
taking it
ingesting it.
in.
Yeah. And what's the ramification of that?
Right.
Yeah. There,
So,
we could go down a whole
right?
deep dive there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was another podcast I was listening to about how the glyphosate, is that what
Yep.
it is? How that's impacting fertility, not just in women, but in men.
Yeah.
And I understand the need to support various industries. However, I think that's where this desire and need and market is coming from. People are realizing the negative side effects to the chemicals changing to, again, perhaps meet consumer needs, but we really have to look at our health. If we don't have our health, what do we have?
Right.
Yeah. I really think going back to the gluten-free stuff, I have to say, again, the value of the health coach guidance. A handful of years ago, before Into the Woods was even a thing, my husband was having symptoms of food allergies. So we went into the typical medical doctor's appointment, and they're like, all right, eliminate everything. And we're going to see and then slowly add it back in, and we'll see what's happening. We went to the grocery store and we were like, what do we do? We have no idea what to eat. It was such an overwhelming experience. And then we ended up buying probably 5 different types of bread that tasted like carbs. Now, granted, this was like 10 years ago, right? When there
Yes.
maybe wasn't as many options that were good, nourishing, gluten-free options. But I just see the value of your mentorship and helping personalize what people prefer and what their go-tos used to be, what they can swap things in and out with. Is there anything else that you found when working with other
Well,
individuals?
just before I believe that the fact that we go slow to go fast and then we have that wraparound, I think that sets us apart because so many times people will they'll go to a place or have that similar experience and then they get turned off by the process. And it's the same kind of for mental health. You go to somebody and you don't have a good experience, you're likely to not go back again. So we do it differently. And I think Ginger can speak to more of that.
Yeah, too, Kaylin, there's no support in there. They're given these 15 foods.
Don't eat these.
Don't eat
Yeah.
these. You go into this grocery store, like you said, Jenny, and then it's like a deer in headlights, right? Now what? And then
Mhm.
there's no support in between there.
Right.
So, yeah, we do it a little bit differently here. We do it slowly, and we do it slowly so that you can feel how these foods are impacting your health.
Yep.
No, we see so many significant improvements in energy levels, sleep, different medications in a very short period of time just by doing it the way that we do. And we work on healing the gut as well in there.
Yep.
But yeah, there's so much more gluten-free options out there. I
Yeah.
guess the biggest thing that I would continue to tell people is just look at labels.
Yeah.
Because just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's healthy.
There's that. Even just being cognizant of the sugar-free things too, right? There's so much stuff that gets swapped in there to
Right?
try to make it taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I love the piece that I know is a component of the program where you'll actually take some of the program members to the grocery store
Yeah.
and do in the moment education and just
Right?
guide.
Pulling up some of those favorites. Have them take me to some of their favorite staples, and then what can
Yep.
I give them to swap that out?
Absolutely.
And yeah, like you said, the no sugar, you got to be careful when you see something like a Gatorade Zero or whatnot, and you think that you're making the better choice, you're actually making the worst choice because it's some sort of artificial sweetener like a sucralose or something in there.
Yeah.
So you just got to be really well aware of
Yep.
those labels.
Yeah. Lots to know. And I think that's part of it, whether it's going to the grocery store and not knowing or even just going to Google like that or AI now. It's just a lot. So I can only imagine the benefits of having a mentor like yourself. You started talking a bit about some of the things that were maybe told through advertising campaigns or other stuff along the way. I want to bust a couple of other myths that we might have absorbed over the years.
Sure.
So one of them, which you mentioned already, was fat makes you fat. So tell us a bit about how you would reframe that.
Fat makes you lean.
Okay, I need to know more. Yes.
Right? So it's essential for our hormones to balance out our hormones. Cellular function, it's going to be the first thing that we utilize and burn for energy. And I always say like a balanced meal should be high fat, moderate protein, and like low carbs. Carbs like your nice green leafy vegetables, things
Sure.
like that. That nice balance in there.
What is a healthy fat?
Avocado, olive oil, some of your nuts are going to be some of your healthy fats, grass-fed, grass-finished meats,
Okay. Okay, that's good.
eggs if you tolerate them.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, if you have questions, there's a lot more that you can get at Into the Woods or even beyond, looking for other resources there to find out what those differences are. What about myth 2, eating healthy is expensive? I'd say everything's
I think
expensive
food
right
in
now,
general
but
is
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And we have Aldi here. I do a lot of shopping there.
Good.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Costco has a lot of really good deals on things. Actually, part of our resources in our curriculum, I upload my Costco list of just some of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Then you have, I don't know if you guys, have you ever heard of like Misfit?
I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
like where it's all the deformed veggie
Yeah.
things like
Yep.
that. You can create your own boxes and get them shipped to you throughout the whole year. So that's a really good way to keep out of the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then
That's why I do Hungry Root.
There you go.
there you go.
I really like it. You can do recipes, you can do groceries, and it's customized each week. So I don't have to think about things, which helps.
And
Yeah.
then twice now we've had our meals,
Yep.
our
meal
food
prep.
prep meals here. which
Into the
has
Woods
been-
meals. Yep.
When those meals came out, I was like, yes, I don't have to think of a meal this week.
Yep.
So
Check
and
it
and
off.
to know that it was healthy and checked
Clean
all my
ingredients,
boxes as
absolutely.
far as what I was taking in. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Are there any other myths that you've noticed people are coming to you with, or others that you would highlight?
I'm going to say the salt's bad for you.
Oh, sure.
And your regular table salt versus like your Celtic salt or your pink Himalayan salt are not the same. So
Okay.
your regular table salt's very processed, can cause higher blood pressure, just can wreak havoc on the body. Where Celtic salt is full of minerals, they say over 70 plus minerals, so it can act as an electrolyte where you're hydrating your cells. It can help with energy.
It tastes delicious.
It tastes delicious. Do you put it in your water or under your
No,
tongue?
no, my water just has to be water.
Okay. I always say add it to a little pinch to every water, and what you will notice is that you will spend less time in the restroom.
Oh.
So if you're anything like me, if you were to drink just water, you'd be going to the bathroom all the time. If you add a little bit of Celtic salt in there, you're hydrating your cells.
Ooh.
So
I like
Ginger
it.
tried to make me do a bunch of stuff when I was in the program, swallow a bunch of
yeah, she
strange
didn't
things.
like any of that.
That's where it's
That's why
personalized,
she
right?
has the little smoothie pouches.
Okay. And she didn't make you, she encouraged you. And then I'm
Yes.
sure there were
And then we
personalized
started with
options.
some liquids, and she didn't like those either. Yeah,
I got the full gamut.
we were able to find something that worked for her. She noticed huge improvements, so
Yes.
that's the important part.
Yes. You specifically had issues with migraines,
Mhm.
right?
Yep,
And
and it had
this
gone.
nutritional piece.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And so I would lose my vision 1 to 8 times a month.
Wow.
And I've been on every medication under the sun. And since starting and finishing the program and continuing my nutrition path, it hasn't happened once.
Wow.
So I will take that.
Absolutely.
And then I'm like, if that's all it took, which it was a lot, right? It was a difficult process, but if someone would have told me that 20 years ago, I could have done that 20 years ago and not had to deal with all of the stuff that comes along with losing your vision from your migraines
Oh my
for
gosh.
They
Yeah,
decades.
just don't tell you
absolutely.
stuff like that.
I know, right? Because they want to keep coming back.
Yeah.
Try this medication. But
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I want to jump into a bit of what we touched about lifestyle mentality, but I want to
Okay.
start with helping people think about, again, how they eat, what they've tried in the past. There's a lot around diet culture that can be really harmful.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure people walk away with that. We really are trying it at Into the Woods, trying to help people reframe this isn't a diet. This is a lifestyle. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you approach it and what you're hearing from people and what's helping them?
Yeah, I think the diet word is very restrictive. I feel like it's always temporary. People are motivated in the beginning. They're very restrictive with what they can eat, which then comes burnout.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're reverting back to old habits. So I just don't know if I know anybody that ever went on a diet that was able to sustain it very long term.
There's data out there that like 95% failure rate. It's
Right?
just not something
Yeah.
that it's
Right.
hard. The willpower, the education,
Right.
all of it. It's really hard.
I think something that I've run across is, especially with our nutrition program, people are like, oh, it's a bad time to start.
Mm,
I would say there's never going to be a good time. No matter
right.
what, every season is going to have a cycle of busyness.
Yeah.
But when are you going to be willing to create the lifestyle that you want?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I correct everyone when we talk about our nutrition and it's a diet. Nope, it's a lifestyle, which is why I think we go slow to go fast. And
Yep.
we know that it does take 90 days to create a habit. And then to sustain it is even longer. So that's where the wraparound services come into play and what I really think sets us apart.
Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
think actually coming in and doing our program when you do have a lot of things is so helpful
Yeah.
because we want to teach you that you can do this and have your normal vacations, your normal events,
Yep.
right?
You go out to
We
eat
are-
and know how to pick from the menu
Yeah.
with a bit more of
Like,
that
we
insight.
want to create this sustainable lifestyle, which actually then becomes part of your identity,
Yeah.
right?
And mine was this summer. And people, oh my gosh, I couldn't. There's so many things. And I was like, I thought it was the perfect time to do it. Probably because it was a little bit more of that challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Dive right in and
Mhm.
figure out what feels good and what works for you. Absolutely.
Yeah. It isn't an all or nothing. It's just an always something.
Mm.
Sure.
When you're trying to create this lifestyle.
Yeah. And I think that's where the go slow to go fast, you're really looking for something that you can sustain. It's not just I'm going to try this for a week and see how I feel. No, this is a commitment to self, right?
Yeah.
And it's about progress versus being perfect. We all have those days where it's, okay, it's someone's birthday. Are you going to pass on the birthday cake? Do you pass? What's your mentality?
You have to decide if that moment is worth it to you. Is that memory of having that piece of cake worth it? For
Sure.
some people, it is.
Sure.
And they're prepared that they might feel like crap for the next couple of
Sure.
days.
The consequences.
Yeah, what are the consequences?
Yeah.
So I guess it just really depends. I always say, I know I've had a couple people say they didn't get invited somewhere because they knew they were doing this lifestyle change with us and they didn't want to put them in that situation of having some food and cocktails and whatnot. And you're still there.
Mhm.
You're still fun. You're
Yeah.
still present. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Mhm.
I
There's
mean,
still other
yeah,
options,
just
right?
because we're not eating the same or
Mhm.
drinking the same doesn't mean that we're still not the same fun person.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's where coming at it with this idea of having that base of education, that mentorship through Into the Woods, and then also realizing that you have a choice, right? And that there isn't any shame involved if you come back to Into the Woods after the weekend. I ate this over the weekend. Okay, how do you feel? Like
Yeah.
that's probably going to be the first question. How do you feel after that? And it's just listening to your body it's more than following rules. It's just
Right.
listening to your body and knowing what you need and yeah.
And we're going to help you establish that sustainable lifestyle. It looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
But still, it's progress.
Yeah.
And I will be the first to tell all of my clients, you will see me out to eat. You will see me have a cocktail here and there. But that's how I continue to do what I'm doing, though, is it's like it's not that diet. I'm living this lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's part of me, but I still can have a little fun in there too.
It can be part of the fun, right? Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to distinguish that. Break that mentality. Absolutely. Before we get into some other high-level results that people have seen going through this nutrition education and program, I'd like to talk a bit about this elimination process and how it's part of figuring out what works for you is uncovering not only your relationship to food, that mindset, it's also food sensitivities. How has that worked into the program as well?
So we do eliminations on a weekly basis here, again, so that we can figure out how these foods are affecting them. What symptoms resolve by pulling out certain foods?
It's just looking at what are some of the common culprits of issues, of concerns.
Yeah.
It's dairy. For some, it's specifically eggs. For
Right.
some, it might be sugar or
Eggs,
gluten.
tomatoes. There's
Yeah.
so many different inflammatory foods on there. Caffeine.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to hear that one. Caffeine, processed foods, sugars.
Yeah.
Sugars definitely congest our liver. We usually start with that big one.
Yeah.
Soy, legumes. We pull out different foods at different times in our program just so that you can get an idea of how these foods are affecting you. Do you have more energy? Is your acid reflux gone now?
Sure.
Is your digestion and bowels daily? And
Yep.
yeah, so we do it that way so that they can really get an idea, because then they are aware, right? They are aware what these foods are doing to them versus
Absolutely.
me just pulling them all out at once.
You have to do this.
Or
Yeah.
pulling them all out at once and then not knowing or understanding which food was the culprit. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Let's dive into a bit of the results, some of the nutritional wins that you have seen. I can only imagine. I know that at one point, and I've experienced it for myself because I've gone through it as well. It's been a while and I fell off the bandwagon a little bit. So I need to get back onto this lifestyle. But I've heard and experienced that people's taste buds change, right? What you used to crave, you no longer crave, or the things you used to eat or drink, when you drink them after going through some of this and really listening to your body, it's, ooh, that's way too sugary and sweet.
Way too sweet. Yes, that does happen to a lot of people, actually. We see so many successes. That's my favorite part of this whole thing, is just being their support person and celebrating with them at the end, taking their pictures before and after. Weight loss is not our goal here, but when we are removing inflammatory foods, we are taking on inflammation. We're removing that. So it's going to fall off. It just happens.
Yeah.
But I see things, blood pressure medications, usually within, a lot of times, in 60 days.
Oh, wow.
60 days people are off of these medications. Their doctors never told them what to do, didn't give them any guidelines. Depression, anxiety meds.
Sure.
I've had somebody that was using different sleep aids, including taking shots of alcohol,
Sure.
and no longer does any of that enough.
Purely from changing their diet, their food,
Changing their diet, healing their gut.
Wow.
Yes. Acid reflux, heartburn.
Yeah.
When we talked about the myths before of you have too much stomach acid, so let's put you on a PPI. It's quite the opposite of that. We don't have enough.
Sure.
So if we can add some apple cider vinegar in with these people, work on that digestion,
Yeah.
we can get rid of that heartburn, the acid reflux, recognizing stress in their life.
That's huge.
Okay, yes. So we try to help them figure out those stresses that balance between work and play. I've had probably 6 people, if not more, change careers or jobs from just being very clear-minded from this nutritional piece of it in our program.
Yeah, and those job changes have been more aligned in supporting that lifestyle and their health, their overall wellness. Love it.
Yeah, besides just overall energy, clear-minded focus,
Yep.
weight loss. I mean,
Yeah, and for me, it's been really cool as we brought in the mental health piece on, and majority of clients or some of them have transitioned, right, to doing the program and can still see me because I'm part of the wraparound services with that. But their outcomes have been phenomenal. They've had all of the mental health pieces, and we finally got to a point where it's nutrition, right?
Yeah.
And so to see their outcomes has been also phenomenal from my perspective as well.
That's great.
and that goes in reverse too, since
Right.
we've gotten Caitlin in the office too. We've worked with people with the nutrition piece, and then I refer them to her to help with any of those roadblocks and things like that too.
Yeah.
So it's an essential pillar.
Yeah. I feel like this is are we
The
saying
theme of
the
our
same?
podcast.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing every episode. It's all connected. You
Yep.
can choose where you want to start.
We
It's
won't
whole
dictate
person.
entry point.
Yeah, it's a personalized path. Yeah, absolutely. But that's a message that we haven't heard
Right.
over the last, I'd say, in my lifetime, right? We're gonna put it on repeat. We're gonna keep talking about it and keep coming at these different topics
Yeah,
because
people need to know that they can feel better, and it's
Mhm.
not normal to feel fatigued, or it's not normal to not sleep at night.
so let's get to the root cause.
Right.
Nourish our bodies in the
That's right.
various ways. Take
Even
care
if-
of that mind, body,
Yep.
soul connection, all of the things.
It's like even if they're told their labs look great, they
Yeah.
still feel a certain way. Come see us.
Yeah. There's so, I
We'll
mean, that,
take your blood.
yeah. Yeah. We've covered a lot already, but the whole idea of labs, that might be, I think, an episode in and of itself, just to help people understand. There's so many nuances of what is okay and then other signs within those labs to say, all right, there could be something here that's impacting you and a shift you could look at or change.
We can take my husband, for example. That was his whole thing. Oh, my labs are fine. My labs are fine. Finally convinced him to come in. And his ferritin levels were through the roof.
Okay.
Right? And so he did our nutrition program and has had an extremely successful outcome from there. So
Great.
again, I think when it comes to our labs, we take a look underneath. Whereas in a conventional setting, they're looking at the thing on top of it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what would set us apart. For that.
Absolutely. Okay. So much good stuff to walk away with. Let's put a bow on it as we really talk about the connection between what we eat and how it makes us feel. What might be some simple shifts that you would encourage people to just play with if they're maybe considering doing something more intentional like this program? But what might be some other things? It could be as simple as just asking themselves after they eat, how do I feel?
Yeah. I'd be focusing on your symptoms. Is it anxiety? Is it depression? Is it fatigue? Is it low energy? And so if you can start tracking those, whether that's a mood tracker, a food tracker, same similar concept.
Yeah.
But the other thing I would say is when something is off, it's off.
Yeah.
And so you're the only one who's going to know that. And so if you focus on the symptoms and what is off, and then realize that we have a full wheel of wellness, that's preventative care that can help you create a healthier lifestyle, I would say, again, give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would like to ask yourself those questions. How do you feel after you're done eating? How is your digestion? Are you bloated? Are you gassy? Do you feel a certain way? Why are you eating? Are you eating sporadically throughout the day? And what's the reason for that?
Yeah.
Are
Eating
you
when you're bored.
emotionally
Yeah.
eating?
Right.
That's a key indicator. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that I loved as a takeaway was, okay, when you're hungry, drink a glass of water first. Because maybe
Right.
you're thirsty and your body is just trying to tell you, all right, drink something, drink
How
some
did we
water.
ever survive elementary school where we all had to line up at the bubbler? Remember? You couldn't be
Take little sips just sporadically
Yeah.
throughout the day.
I
Yeah.
was like, I think I was just dehydrated my whole life.
Oh, pretty much. I thought you were going to go, I grew up drinking Kool-Aid, which is like all sugar. Like,
I
there's-
did.
yeah, exactly. We survived, but
Yes,
Yeah,
did.
I would definitely say yes, like adding the water in is
Yep.
definitely something because your stomach really doesn't know. Maybe just go for a walk instead
sure.
of feeding it something. Drink some water, add electrolytes into your daily routine,
Yeah.
whether it's in the Celtic salt form, coconut water, or your favorite flavored LMNT or Ultima are a couple of my favorite ones.
Sure.
And then if you are feeling a little crummy after you're done eating or having cravings, maybe adding in some apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. I know that's your go-to
Oh
tip.
my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
It's so inexpensive. It tastes horrible.
So when you say add in a little bit of apple cider vinegar, what does that mean? Are we taking just a little
Like
spoonful?
a shot,
Okay.
yeah. So I always have people start slow, like a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons or so in a little
Sure.
shot glass, maybe put a little warm water in there. Down the hatch it goes.
Yep.
Before you eat. It's going to help with sugar cravings. It's
Sure.
going to help with your digestion and breaking down of your food. And it's going to make you feel fuller faster, which is nice.
Sure.
I think we all overeat a little.
Well, I think
Eat
the
too
whole
fast.
I don't know about you all, but I was told like you can't leave the table depending on where I ate. When I love my grandma, but it was you can't leave the table till your plate's empty. And so we just have this need to empty plate on autopilot when it's am I full? Okay, then I'm done.
I will say I'm guilty of I eat my food like someone's about to steal it. And I have to constantly remind myself to slow down, chew your food.
Chew, yeah.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about that too? Mindful eating.
Yeah. There was the episode with Kelly where we were talking about just paying attention, being more intentional, paying attention to how you're doing what you're doing. And I think paying attention to how you eat. I have a really bad habit, I will say. If I'm eating during the day, during the week when I'm working, I'll have my phone and my brain's going on something else and I'm shoving my face, right? It's okay, no. Take a breath. Pay attention to the chews. So
Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that. I think in other countries they have 2-hour lunches. It's so that they can eat slowly,
yeah.
not necessarily eat fast and do other things like we would do here.
Yeah.
A means to an end kind of mentality. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I feel like there's some great nuggets here, especially as we go into the holidays. Is there anything that you would highlight as just a little tip?
Gosh. Holiday tips for all our clients. We have holiday recipes in our curriculum. So utilize those.
Nice.
Just pay attention to ingredients, labels. Do your best to use alternatives, not your conventional sugars. Monk fruit, stevia is one that you could use.
Yeah.
Maple syrup, honey.
Dates are one that I've really started to
date
play with.
sugar, date. Yeah, just play a little bit and see if you can't make some of your favorites a little bit healthier.
Yeah, still yummy. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's just about balance. Enjoy, but be mindful.
Yeah.
And also you could eat before you go somewhere too. Right? Or you could pack your own snacks, or like there's exit plans or things that you can strategize for. So if you're already thinking about it, which the majority of people are, and then they want to get their health started in January, right? Back on track, which is totally cool. We're here for that too. But I think it's just about finding that balance. And I think it's good that you're actually thinking about it. And then what are going to be your actionable steps after that?
Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. So nutrition isn't about perfection. It's about progress and really discovering what your body needs to thrive. So thank you.
You're welcome.
For sharing all of your nuggets. You're a wealth of knowledge.
She's going to want to be on every episode now.
I don't think so.
Well, chances are we will have you back.
It likes to be in the background.
Oh, boy.
For some reason, though, at Into the Woods, I'm in the forefront of the program.
Again, that's because you are such a fantastic mentor.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Be well, be still, become.
If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review us. We'd also love to connect with you. Reach out at info@intothewoodsjourney.com or visit our website at www.intothewoodsjourney.com to explore your path to wellness. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for listening.